the country's decline in where to invest in Africa rankings is due to delays in implementing business reforms and lack of fiscal discipline. That's according to the latest Rand Merchant Bank investment report released today. Now, Ghana dropped by 4 places to 9th in the latest Where to Invest in Africa report by Johannesburg-based Rand Merchant Bank, which looked at the best place to invest in Africa. Celeste Falconer is an analyst at Rand Merchant Bank. She has been giving more details about the report at the 4th First National Bank Economic Business Breakfast Forum.
Highlighting Ghana, if you did read the previous year's document, unfortunately Ghana has slipped down the rankings. Where Ghana was number 5 in last year's document, it is now number 9. But I think we would rather leave that discussion for when we have the panel and where we will answer those questions. But in short, it is the fiscal indiscipline that we've seen in Ghana over the past few years that is now showing a delayed reflection in some of the surveys. So we can see there's still that investor concern of what is going to happen from a fiscal health perspective in Ghana over the next few years. That's the main reason. And we can also discuss all the other countries after the breakfast presentation. The main focus is who's the next top 10. So we can see other countries that you might have asked, where's Mauritius? Where's Botswana, for instance? Very easy business environments. Why aren't they in the top 10? But we always say they're still very small markets. And these markets only have about 4 million people altogether in Mauritius, in Botswana, in Namibia.
Well, Information Minister Kojo Ponkuma has been outlining what government is doing in the short term to improve upon the country's shortcomings.
Specifically, there were a number of things that I think come out quite strongly in the presentation. And the first is that this is more or less like a poll of polls, putting together what various other polls or various other reports say. And one of the things that comes from very strongly to me is that yes, Ghana is reforming, but others like Rwanda, Kenya, Nigeria are making more significant reforms than we are doing. Right. And what that says is that, for example, moving on, reforms must also be in very significant areas. If you look at the Nigerian detail, for example, the forex issue is one issue that is very significant within the body of reforms. And when you tackle that alone, it kind of has a way of pushing you further than others. So in terms of our reforms moving forward, we have to tackle some of the very significant issues. And I think as time goes on, we will have the opportunity to hit on a few of those. Our reforms also have to be benchmarked with what others are doing, or benchmarked to what others are doing. Else you can be of the view that you are reforming, but others will outpace you, and you might come out, slipping from 5 to 9, and it may look like you haven't done much. And so you need to benchmark as well. On the north side of the presentation, which deals with the economic activity, I think what comes out to me strongly is that we have to stimulate higher, broad-based, resilient growth. I mean, what has worked for us in the recent years, which is now going to normalize, can do with some more broader base. Is mostly in the oil and gas area, but what it means is that we also have to broaden it and make it more resilient and regular, so that in terms of the economic activity space, as compared to other jurisdictions, we don't lag behind that much. For me, those are the first things that hit me, in addition to the other opportunities, etc., that are available.
Well, as part of the strategic stakeholder engagements for the year 2019, the Ghana Investment Promotion Center is organizing the first quarter edition of GIPC's Ghana on the Go CEO's Breakfast meeting. This edition focuses on the recent reforms in the banking sector. The meeting will evaluate the outcomes of the banking sector reforms and explore the opportunities it presents for private sector companies and industry practitioners. The theme for the program is Ghana's banking sector reforms, opportunities for the private sector. It will be on Friday, the 29th of March, 2019 at the Labadi Beach Hotel from 8 a.m. to 11 a.m. Now, the $3 billion Eurobond cash expected to hit the Bank of Ghana's account this week. Now, this after the Finance Minister, Ken Ofori-Atta, closed the fundraising deal last week in London. So what would be the impact of this on the economy apart from stabilizing the city? We have details in the following report.
With the current agreement with the lead arrangers of Eurobonds, The funds raised are supposed to hit the accounts of the issuer, that is the government of Ghana, 5 clear days after the bond sale was closed. Checks with the Finance Ministry and even persons close to the Bank of Ghana indicate that the funds should be transferred from Euroclear accounts in London. The immediate impact of these funds coming in would be that significant increase in central bank reserves. This should assure investors and currency traders that the regulator is in a strong position to defend the local currency, going a long way to strengthen the cedi's recovery. A stabilized cedi would lessen its impact on inflation rates going up. The Bank of Ghana's economic and financial data puts its gross international reserves as at October 2018 at around $6.3 billion. Now, if reports that the central bank had built its reserves by more than $1 billion over the past 3 months are true, then it is likely that when the Eurobond cash hits, the Bank of Ghana's reserves could reach about $10 billion. Plus the cocoa board and the IMF cash, the amount could reach almost $11 billion. That's holding all the variables and conditions constant.
In other news tonight, economist and banking consultant Dr. Richmond Etuaine has cautioned another banking crisis is about starting. Contrary to claims by the central bank governor, the situation is over. Dr. Etuaine argues that the banking sector still faces issues with suspicious human resource and bad corporate governance practices. He spoke to Joy Business on the sidelines of the Ghana Most Respected CEOs Breakfast series organized by Business and Financial Times. Charles Aite has more in this report.
The Respected CEOs Breakfast meeting brought together several captains of industry in the financial sector to deliberate on some practical ways of safeguarding Ghana's financial sector. The event also saw experts from both government and the private sector exchange ideas on solutions to challenges in Ghana's financial sector. After the event, Joy Business got in touch with the economist and banking consultant, Dr. Richmond Etuaine, who made a case for regulators to be strict and crack the whip on recalcitrant financial institutions.
It is the genesis of the beginning, the genesis of the Exodus. It's just beginning. Because you, as I said, you have the good corporate governance directive, fit and proper test, holding capital required, but about implementation and enforcement. You have cleaned it, but is it the way we're going to leave it? It's about we have capacity to enforce it. I mean, if we have capacity, the Basel compliant of these GATS is not compliant with Basel, and we should not tolerate it.
Joy Business also interacted with the MD of the Ghana Amalgamated Trust, GAT, Eric Otu, who argues that even though confidence level in the banking sector has waned, new reforms being introduced, including the GAT, will help strengthen the sector.
I think there's still anxiety out there, but I mean, you don't blame people. 2017, we saw 2 banks go down. Last year, 2018, we saw 5 banks fold and the consolidated bank that was formed, and there's still challenges. I mean, even outside universal banking, non-bank financial institutions are facing challenges, microfinance companies challenges there as well, and even asset management companies are also facing challenges. So I think there's a systematic problem. However, we need to start addressing them sector by sector, segment by segment, and come up with, like I indicate, practical solutions. Need to look at governance, need to see how we can improve management capabilities, improve operations, and hopefully that would restore confidence in our financial sector.
The Respected CEOs Breakfast series was organized by the Business and Financial Times.
All right, so economist Dr. Richmond Etuaine raising some concerns there about the banking sector reforms and whether or not we should expect a repetition of what we've seen in the past. He thinks that we are going to see such an event happen again. Let's take you to our polls tonight because we've been asking if you fear that there would be another banking sector crisis. So let's look at the results we are getting tonight. In the past 1 hour or so, 57% of you say that you fear that the banking sector crisis may resurface, and 43% of you say you don't fear that it may resurface. What does it say about confidence in the banking sector? I don't know. Perhaps some more people skeptical about doing business with the banks, and seeing from what we are gathering from our polls tonight. And so you can go to our Facebook page, Joy Business, and cast your vote as well. Let's know what you think about the banking sector reforms and whether or not we have seen an end to it. Well, while we talk about that, the Monetary Policy Committee of the Bank of Ghana has begun its regular round of meetings to review the health of the economy. Joy Business understands issues that could dominate discussions are developments on the forex market and how to consolidate the city's strong recovery, but looking at how some foreign investors reacted negatively to the previous policy rate cut to 17%. Should it be maintained this time around? Joining us via Skype for his expectation is economist Professor John Gache. He joins us on phone rather. Thanks very much for your time tonight. All right, appears that we don't have him on the line. You're watching Business Live here on JoyNews. Now, over a year after the sword was cut for commencement, you're watching Business Live. Let's take a short break. We'll be right back. Now, Ghana's fashion industry could soon be competing feverishly on the international market if given some more attention. In our Ghana Man series today, we take a look at how the country can explore the use of locally made fabrics for fashion accessories, which can contribute effectively to GDP. Alberta Bisu has been interacting with some local fashion designers on how the sector is catching up with both the local and international markets. She brings us this report.
Over the years, Ghana has become well known for some of its unique fabrics like kente and fugu, among which have gained so much popularity on the international markets. These fabrics are best used by Ghanaians for sewing dresses to diverse occasions, including weddings, funerals, corporate functions, and other social gatherings. In recent times, the trend has evolved into making of other fashionable products and accessories like bags, earrings, and shoes. Now, the CEO of Selina Bebako Mensah, explains how the business is gradually catching up in both the Ghanaian and international markets.
I believe it's here to stay. Like I said, it's been trending for at least 10 years now, or even more, and people are catching on with it. You know, recently, just about 2-3 weeks ago, Beyonce was pictured wearing a very nice African print outfit with a matching hat, and it was trending. People are even more interested now. So I don't think it's going away anytime soon. In fact, I don't think it's going to go away at all. We've really embraced it, and it's here to stay. But we need all the help that we can get, not just from government, you know, even corporate entities and everything, because this is an industry that definitely can contribute greatly towards our GDP and our economies.
The CEO of Northern Pride Smokes, Bubarika Audu, also narrated the crave for some of his items by dealers from neighboring countries. She says their local fabrics for fashion accessories has a bright future, which needs more attention.
And with a little bit support from our Ghanaians, I'm sure we'll go far, because if we're making the things and then Ghanaians are not interested in patronizing it and they have taste for foreign goods, that is the problem. We export them both locally and internationally and locally, like other regions. I mean, we send them outside Accra, because we're based in Accra here around Achimota. So we have customers all over Ghana and outside. Even we have customers in Nigeria. I have customers in Sierra Leone who they found me on Facebook. They come to buy and take it to Sierra Leone and sell. So she's like also a retailing in Sierra Leone. And then I have another one who I've contacted from Nigeria and even Togo that I'm talking to.
Some retailers in the popular Oxford Street at Osu say there is ready market for the Ghana-made accessory. Unfortunately, they noted that the city depreciation impacts on the courier services and affects pricing of their exports.
First, I used to make a lot with the bags. Just now that market is not moving well. We are trying to take it into international, so Black Americans too, they will just come, then they purchase any one that they want. They like it, but just like now that the dollar has been going up, so if you're about to send something for someone, it's kind of difficult.
Nowadays, no, it doesn't go. Because even today, let me say anything. The foreigners come, like when you give them a price, they know you are able to buy it. Because business are slow. due to the dollar, business are slow.
Alberta Bisius reports for Joy Business.
We want to take you to the ports next. The Danish ambassador to Ghana, Tovi Dengbo, has told Joy Business her outfit is liaising with the Ghana Ports and Harbours Authority for the successful completion of the ports expansion project, speaking after the signing of a strategic maritime sector cooperation between the Danish Maritime Authority and that of Ghana. The Danish ambassador said when completed, major Danish shipping lines like Maersk will be choosing Ghana as an investment hub.
Ghana was the first in Africa and fifth in the world to pilot an e-navigation platform as a result of the initial collaboration.
Denmark is through Maersk very much involved in the expansion of the port in Tema, and that is really the crucial initiative for expanding the total trade with both between Ghana and Denmark, but also between Ghana and all other countries. So much of the international trade to Ghana, 90% actually, is carried on vessels, is sea-based, and therefore it's of crucial importance that the port expansion is taking place. It will be inaugurated, we understand, late June this year. It's a major step. We have a number of companies, both in the maritime sector but also in other sectors, which are interested in doing business with Ghana, investing in Ghana, and much of this is actually dependent on sea transport.
One of the key issues that you've always raised has been that of bottlenecks and bureaucracies in African economies. I mean, do you still stand by this concern in 2019?
That's definitely a concern, and we're working with our Ghanaian partners on this in various respects. We also have a program supporting the Ghana Revenue Authority, and we are focusing particularly on the customs sector, trying to assist Ghana Revenue Authority to faster processing imported containers so that business people do not have to wait for a long time to get their cargo in, to ease the bottlenecks, to remove them. Danish investors are involved also in road construction relating to the port, so that as soon as possible after the cargo has.
All right, that's it for our bulletin tonight. There's more news on our website. You see that right behind me, myjoyonline.com/business. The president speaking about maintaining fiscal discipline post IMF program, important as the Where to Invest in Africa report highlights the fact that we were, places down because of concerns about fiscal indiscipline. My name is Darryl Kwao. Thanks for watching. We're back same time tomorrow.